to Latinas Unmasked. Our first story is from the subreddit r/am I wrong? So
yes, you are. You are always wrong. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do.
This subreddit is similar to Am I the Asshole, but it's more the question like, am I really that wrong for what I'm thinking or doing or whatever?
Okay.
Good. So the title is Am I Wrong for Ending a 20-year Marriage Because I Learned My Wife Cheated on Me While We Were Dating?
Oh my God.
It was
talking about grudges. Do you remember that day 25 years ago when you were young and had many people to fuck with and you took the chance?
But then again, I'm thinking, imagine you've been together with someone 20 years.
Right.
And that would be the first time you ever heard about the fact that they cheated on you. How would you feel? I mean, if they would be like, you know,
like,
honestly,
like to discover after 2 decades that you actually don't know that person very well must be quite shocking and frightening.
But on the other hand, I'm just trying to imagine it. I think I would be both. It would be like, and you're coming clean with this now? Are you kidding me? But on the other hand, if my husband, being the amazing husband he is, and everything was great in between that time, it would be like, I don't like it that you kept that is a secret or whatever the situation is. But honestly, it's been 20 years ago. Like, I mean, I did stupid things back then that, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess in a way, based off the title at least, we're just assuming it would be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you both are still together, you know. So it shouldn't have been so bad.
It's so funny. I mean, we make a discussion based off the title. We can already say so much.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really curious. Just write us in the comments if you could.
But I think it's hilarious is being, you know, the person who cheated or did something without telling their partner, and after 2 decades, never finding the right moment to confess it. I just think it's hilarious to think about it. Like every year that goes on, you're like, no, I don't think this is the best time to tell it.
Honestly, so funny because I was actually listening to a podcast today about Reddit stories, 2 Hot Takes. Go watch it out; it's amazing. I love it. While I was at work, and there was a story where the husband told his wife a little lie that it just turned out so big that it was like, I am fucked. And it was a stupid lie. He, when they were dating, told her that the house he was renting was bought. It was his. And it was never his. And they were living there for like 10 years. And then the landlord was kind of retiring, and they actually wanted to give all the ones that were living there, wanted to sell it to them, which is good. But in order to buy it, she had to sign it. So he had to come clean after 10 years telling your wife, well, honey, you know how I told you that this is our house and that we own it? Well, we don't. but
now we got the chance.
Now we can.
We could if you sign here.
A decade later, we can now buy it. Amazing news.
Oh my God. But also, what kind of a master genius you need to be to hide it, you know? Because I mean,
much to hide
just by paying the bills, you should notice that it doesn't belong to you.
He paid all of the bills from his pocket, but it's a miracle that the landlord never came by or anything. I mean, so many things. They were living there 10 years long.
So many things.
And I was also thinking, so in those 10 years, she never wanted to change anything about the house. Like, honey, can we change the floors? Or can we change, you know? Well, but it was actually quite a wholesome story, honestly, because in the end, he told his wife and she was thrilled. She was not happy that he lied, but she thought, well, it was a stupid lie. I mean, a small lie back then, so many times ago.
But she was happy to know that they actually don't own that
no,
shit
she was
house.
thrilled that they were now able to buy it, and that is honestly the point. Because imagine if then the other way around, they would have now to move out because they lost the house. Oh my God.
It could have turned out way worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a great story. Anyway.
To this story.
Again, am I wrong for ending a 20-year marriage because I learned my wife cheated on me while we were dating? In case you forgot what it actually was about because of our ramble. It was posted 1 month ago and has 13.7k upvotes.
All right.
My wife, 44 female, and I, 43 male, have been married 20 years. We started dating in high school when I was a junior and she was a senior. We were long distance for her first 2 years of college while I was in high school and did 1 year at community college. Then we went to college in the same city for a year and have lived together since. We got married the summer after graduated college. Our marriage has been pretty good so far, but I initiated a divorce after I discovered that she was sleeping with multiple other men for the 2 years we were long distance. Sorry, I have to process that. Wait. Okay, their marriage... sorry. Our marriage has been pretty good so far, but I initiated a divorce after I discovered that she was sleeping with multiple men for the 2 years that we were long distance. I'm sorry. I thought we were just talking about one.
Yeah.
Multiple... Okay. I'm like, what? Okay, just after...
Okay, yeah. She just had it, you know? She just convinced multiple
I also somehow need... Sorry that I read it again. I just had to get the timeline straight.
So for you, one cheating is already like something, but to have being cheated multiple times, does it take it to the next level for you? Does it change your perception?
It's just based off the title. I mean, asking if you're wrong for ending a marriage after you learned that she cheated. And, I don't want to excuse people, but, cheating with a person out of a stupid situation. For example, they were long distance, she was sad and it happened, but she regretted it. Like the story we read, Conceived After Divorce, where they did it not once, but twice in a night.
Yeah.
Like the first time, okay, it could have been a stupid mistake, still bad, but mistake. But multiple people, like you were actively cheating, like active.
Right. Yeah, like they say in Mexico, uno es ninguno, one is none, but more than one, it starts to count.
Exactly
okay.
that. So that's why I was like, okay.
Okay.
I know what I expected.
And then?
Just after Christmas, we got together with a few friends of hers from college to catch up, have dinner, and hang out. We talked about a lot of stuff, and my wife mentioned that we met in high school. Not that we dated, just that we met. Her old college room commented that it was crazy that we met in high school. Had a few wild years in college, then ended up together. I played along and commented I didn't know if my wife was as crazy as I was. The roommate started to tell a story, but my wife cut her off and said she was uncomfortable about it. I sensed something was up. So I said that we actually started dating in high school and we were together for my wife's entire time in college. All of my wife's friends got real quiet.
Oh, shit.
And the rest of the dinner was awkward. On the way out, one of her other roommates took me aside and said I should have an honest conversation about what happened at college.
Wow, I don't think I would have the guts to put him aside and tell him, you need to know the truth.
But could you be one of the friends and knowing what is going on and not say anything? Could you be one of them?
Well, no, what I mean is that I would need some time to process the situation, assess it correctly, and decide what I should do. But the fact that just after the dinner, someone already told him, like, hey, you need to know this.
Some people are quick thinkers, honestly, because I think I would be the same, that I would be there so uncomfortable and be like, I don't know what to do. Like, okay.
Take some time to really process it and be like, okay, what would be the consequences, or is it even any of my business, to say something. But okay, then someone was like, okay, fuck it, let's be effective, let's tell him the truth right now.
Well, she didn't tell the truth. She just said you should have an honest conversation, giving him a hint that you should talk about this.
Okay.
I asked my wife on the way home and she kind of blew me off. I told her it was important that she was honest with me, and again she said it wasn't important. When we got home, I told her I was going to stay at my brother's house until she was ready to talk about what happened in college.
That's also a little bit extreme, don't you think?
That sounds really toxic. We need a buzzer, a toxic buzzer, like toxic.
If you don't tell me now, I'm going to my brother's house until you are ready to... Okay, anyway.
Yeah, but... also that she's like blowing him off all the time about asking something like that, and
But I think that's where the problem starts, If she would have been willing to talk about it or to mention it, then it wouldn't have been such a big deal. But the fact that she refuses to talk about it or brushes it off, that's I think what makes him more angry than the real.
That's why I think, honestly, I think the wife is being toxic here. I get it's a bit extreme that he wants to stay at his brother, but then again, I see that if you're trying and you're just like, you're getting glued off and you have those thoughts in your mind, and she's just brushing it off like it's nothing. I would also be like, I need distance from you because I don't know what to do now or what to think. I mean, my mind would go everywhere.
Right. The fact that they don't speak just lets your imagination go further and further. Yeah.
The next day, she came over and admitted to sleeping with several men during her first 2 years at college. She said she didn't consider it a big deal at the time because we were long distance and she didn't think a high school romance would last.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, what kind of... Oh, I hate myself. What kind of fucked up... I'm sorry, what is this? This logic? Like, I cheated on you, but since I thought we wouldn't end up, it was okay. And I mean, okay, then I married you, but still thought it's not important. Why should I bring it up now? I mean, we're still together, right?
Right.
20 years down the line, still not important. What?
That's interesting. Okay, read on. Maybe we can understand better her side or not.
I pressed for more details and she said it was at least 10 different men.
Oh, okay. That's a
lot.
Sport. That's a sport.
10 different men, including at least 3 guys she introduced to me as friends when I came to visit on the weekends.
Oh, okay. No, this is... Now I get it. Now I get it. If during that long distance relationship they would have never met in person, then I could have kind of understood that she thought this was kind of a pointless relationship. But still, she should have said, okay, let's pause it. Let's break up. And then let's talk about it again when we come back together. But the fact that she came over and she still pretended as if everything was okay and nothing was happening. Okay, that's just
can you
a bitch move.
Your boyfriend is coming to visit you. You know that you're cheating on him. And then you even have the guts to go so far and to be like, hey, this is my friend. Yes, hey, this is my boyfriend, by the way. And being like,
up until now, I was still kind of on her side. I was like, okay, it could happen, that you think something, but the miscommunication and the fact that she did it so consciously.
No, for me, it already ended at the part where it was more, that she cheated more than with one person. Like, as I said, not that I want to say that cheating with just one person is not as a big deal or something, but it's just, it could be a mistake. It's just in the heat of the moment, but 10 men and you even introduced them. What?
Oh yeah, that's next level cheating. Yeah.
Wow, now that is cold.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
No, seriously, that is wicked.
Okay, read on. And then what?
With 10 different men, including at least 3 guys, she introduced to me as friends when I came to visit on weekends. And one guy she was still in contact with. It just gets worse and worse. You still are in contact with the one guy that you were sleeping with and cheating with, and you just what? Do it still?
During 20 years. That's crazy.
And how do you defend that? Like, yeah, I mean, he was such a good sex buddy that I just wanted him to have as my friend. I mean, I need his advice.
The connection is still strong.
I just need him as my support buddy. I mean, what if you're going away again for a long time?
Right.
I'm sorry, but what the hell?
I love the silence of Rosa. What the hell?
I'm sorry. Like, I need to put a disclaimer here. I have ADHD, so I can try my hardest, but sometimes my mind just wanders off and I get distracted or something, and I'm like, where was I? So, oh my god, sorry.
So what
is also the reason why I have this bubbly persona here. I don't know, or just struggle saying things sometimes. Okay. I told her that I wanted a divorce and would be starting the paperwork as soon as it could, which I did on January 2nd. Oh, okay. Her family and most of my family is telling me I shouldn't throw away my marriage over a few mistakes. I stood by my belief that cheating on me with multiple men for years is unacceptable, no matter when it happened, and the fact that she continued to maintain a relationship with the guys right in front of me was an unacceptable amount of disrespect. Yes. We have 2 children, but they are 17 and 19, and I believe they will understand why I need to end the marriage. Am I wrong for leaving? I feel like I'm going crazy with the amount of people telling me to overlook years of infidelity and decades of lies. Edit. Holy shit, I'm glad I did this with a throwaway because the response here is unexpected. Okay. I obviously can't answer every question comment, but I wanted to provide some detail for common questions. First, the reason I posted this is that my wife and a few friends have been saying it's common to sleep with other folks when you're in a long-distance relationship. What? And that I'm kind of the odd one out for not sleeping around.
No. This is all about communication and agreements, okay? It's not the standards to go cheating without saying nothing. If you do that, you discussed that before.
Yeah, I mean, the gaslighting.
Oh my God.
The gaslighting is... Man, I mean, sorry, it's just... Sitting there be like, man,
cheats on you, and it's like, dude, why weren't you cheating as well?
What is wrong with you? I mean,
why didn't you cheat? I mean,
are you not attractive enough that people didn't want to sleep with you? What is wrong?
What is wrong with you being loyal and transparent?
Everyone does
that.
You're the odd one out.
Although we need to consider this is written from someone that lives in the United States, isn't it? Or we don't know that.
Well, probably because of the high school and senior things.
Because maybe we need to consider that they have this more kind of a hookup culture, But
I wouldn't be saying that, honestly.
Still,
honestly,
I don't know.
I cannot generalize, but I honestly I really think that still a big part of America is still very much in the Christian culture and very much because I just follow a lot of young couples that wait till they married to have sex, that are very much a lot of people that are in purity culture still today, and things like that where I think that's also a big part there. And so I wouldn't.
The thing about the United States, and I say this as a Latina that lives in Europe, so not relatable at all. I think that the United States in general is just too extreme. It's all about choosing extremes. You know, you either lose your virginity at graduation, at prom, or you never lose or never have sex until marriage. So this is the image I always get from the United States. There's never like a middle option, But
yeah, I get that. But I do have to say, I think Europe is kind of, in general, more, especially like some places in like, I don't know, Germany is Switzerland probably, or so like the kind of quick hookups,
right,
less serious, or France or things like that. I don't know, but maybe prove us wrong.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. But let's continue quickly. He's the odd one out, obviously. I mean, I felt like I was being gaslit. You were gaslit, honey. But I wanted an outside perspective. We live in a state with a waiting period to finalize the divorce, so I felt it was a reasonable idea to get some insights before things are finalized. After these comments, I see a handful of folks saying it's normal to sleep around during a long during a long distance relationship, but it seems to be a significant minority. I'm sorry, it's just I'm confused that people in the comments were like, "Yeah, that is normal." Like again, what? It is never okay or normal to cheat on anyone, and no matter if you're.
I think you never imagined you would have to say that. Like,
it's never seriously crazy. I mean, if you two agree to open the relationship because you're in a long distance relationship, that's fine.
That's different
perfect.
Because you already talked about it. There was communication.
But if one partner sleeps around and the other doesn't know that because it's happening behind their back, it is never okay. Never. Because if that is something so common, then you should have given your partner the opportunity to do the same at the minimum, or to leave the relationship because that's something they don't want to. It's just no, it's never okay. What the hell?
But also imagine you just being like, no having sex or anything sexual with anyone because you think you have a girlfriend, and then you realize, what, you would have allowed me to sleep with other people if I would have wanted to. Yeah.
And wanting to try things out and everything, that's fine. But then, as you said, take a break.
Exactly.
Break up, whatever.
Yeah. Are there other comments?
Still a lot of edits.
Okay.
Edits too. We saw each other a couple of weekends a month during the 2-year college period. I lived about 3 hours away from her college. I'm sorry. Long distance, 3 hours away? Isn't that kind of normal for America, like those distances?
Hey, my distance might not be your distance.
Yeah,
so,
it's just... So it was long distance, but not like cross country.
But you need to think about this. Sorry for the interruption. If he drives 3 hours to get there and then 3 hours back to be that's like 6 hours of traveling.
Yeah, but I mean, just I feel like in America that's kind of standard.
Let us know in the comments.
No, but just from experience from traveling there, it's just in comparison to us, we don't really have that. We don't have really much that we need to drive to school because it's so far away.
In 4 hours, we have already crossed the
exactly. So that is just in a way, not to say that this is not a tough relationship, but when they said long distance, I was thinking like my dad dating my mom that was living in Dominican Republic while he was living in Switzerland, having literally different time zones. Like that is my standard of
long distance. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
But it wasn't that far away. Okay.
Right.
The third guy I met while he was in college were meetups that happened during parties. The subject of me being a boyfriend didn't really come up, so I honestly don't know if these guys knew anything. But even that, if she didn't even mention that she had a boyfriend, it's kind of even more like, I'm not really she's not, in her mind, she wasn't really in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And that is so disrespectful.
I think she didn't took him seriously. Maybe because he was also like 1 year younger. I don't know. Like for some people, that's enough to already feel superior and more adult. Or
again,
whatever.
Why being in the relationship?
Yeah, that's true.
Then last edit from OP. The one guy we're still in contact with married a mutual friend from college. This is not some guy she secretly messaged on the side. It's somebody we've talked to regularly for years. I've talked to him a few times since I've learned about my wife. He said he didn't know we were dating at the time and has since blocked my wife on social media.
Since they both started to talk about, like since he confronted him.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. I thought we were finished, but there's more.
Oh, okay.
Some folks have asked how the roommates didn't realize at our wedding that the timelines didn't work out. The main reason is that my wife and I have a very small ceremony with just close friends and close family in Texas. Then we went back to the East Coast to have a big party with friends. The typical reception, sharing details about how we met stuff didn't really happen, so her roommates didn't realize we started dating before college. But that never came up. Never in 20 years.
That's also...
That's weird.
I assume new couples, and you start telling how you met each other, like...
Or you meet a new friend and be like, oh, how did you meet? Yeah, things like that. Like, what?
Or maybe, there were a lot of occasions where he told the story, his version of the story, and she just agreed. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
Then the friends wouldn't have been surprised that he now told that they were dating since high school. That was new to them.
Yeah, what kind of friends do you have?
Yeah, it sounds like they thought we only dated for a year. We were both in the same city, then moved in together. I was open to therapy or some kind of attempt to save the marriage, but her instances that this whole thing is common and I'm the one who's out of line is just too much for me. It's just still doubling down, tripling down on the gaslighting.
Well, maybe certain things, lose importance or power as soon as 2 decades pass by for some people, some people might think, well, it's been 2 decades, dude.
Yeah, but it's like, you like 2 decades long, so. The only time she showed any remorse or even offered to reconcile is when I started filing paperwork. In the last week, she's gone back to saying she's right and I'm overreacting. Oh, my goodness. This is also why I'm feeling like I'm being gaslit. You are. It seems obvious that this is a major issue, but I've got my wife and others telling me it's normal and I'm overreacting. I'm not getting a paternity test unless my kids want to get one. I don't have any doubts that they are biologically mine, and no test will make them not my kids. I love them more than anything in the world, and my wife's infidelity won't change that, even if one or both of them is not biologically mine. They've been my kids for 19 years, and they will be my kids until I stop breathing. Which is a good question, though. I didn't even think of that. But
well, they get married also very young. You need to consider that. I think they said like 23, 22 or something, like they just married in their early 20s.
Yeah. They are now 44 and 43 and 20 years, so
24, 23.
Exactly.
And I mean, I'm 23 and I couldn't imagine being married right now, but if I would be married, like that's very young, and isn't it?
You're saying that to me.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm married.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean,
it's young.
You know, it's young, but even for you, like, tell me, what's your opinion on that? It's very young.
I get in a sense that people think it's young, but you have to put it into perspective, and theoretically that would apply to their story too. My husband and I, we've known each other since, I think, high school is the American version of it. So since I was 15 and he was 17, we've known each other 9 years now. And that is a long time. And we had our history, other things. But saying for us, waiting a few more years, it just because of age doesn't make sense, because we felt ready. Right. We've worked on it. Yeah. We've known each other a lifetime. We grew up together. We are still growing up together. It's different, I think. I think I kind of would understand if we just met and dated, and we're dating or been together for a year, but we've known each other so long. We lived together. I lived at his parents' house for a year, and we moved in together alone for 2 years, and then got married. I think the timeline is different. I think it really depends on your relationship, the things you did together, the things you experienced together. And we experienced some tough things together, so that really makes a difference.
And the thing is that you both, in your case, you both knew that you were sure about the relationship. Yeah. In her case, it is ziemlich. I'm sorry, I'm starting to speak German in this podcast, even though we agreed to only do like Spanglish or English.
Well, yeah, it's okay. You're forgiven.
You're forgiven. Thank you. Yeah, what I wanted to say is that it is really obvious in her case that she wasn't even sure that she wanted to keep on having a serious relationship with this guy, and she wanted to experiment with other people.
And I get that. Honestly, I can say that wholeheartedly. I get it that one of the major difficulties of dating young or getting married young, or not even the fact that you're married young, but knowing someone since you were so young and growing up with them, is also that you will inherently miss out on things, on experiences. And I did have my experience. I did have other boyfriends and things like that. But obviously, I mean, if I would go to college or similar to college, I would not really make those experiences like others would do, because I am in a committed relationship. But then again, I will make other experiences in my age that you would never, because you are not in this situation. So but I think that's where it really comes to trusting your partner and talking. And I am really fortunate because I have a partner that really supports and loves me, and I can be so open with him in a way that is actually even astonishing to me, because it's also hard. Growing up together also means that you will always rediscover things about you that you maybe didn't knew, that shock you, and you don't know what to do with it. And then you have your partner, and you know.
Yeah.
A good example for that is that I figured out that I was bisexual like a year ago through different situations, right? And I always was. I just never realized, and I was just, trying kind of way to ignore it, I guess. And it's a weird thing to realize that in this stage of life, like I'm in a committed relationship and I will never really have the ability to explore it now further now that I know it. But it's also like, obviously there's some curiosity because I would like to know how it would be, how it would feel. So it is tough, but if you have a great partner that also understands the fact that we're both growing up and that's part of what you decided that you will do when we got married this young, is that, yeah, you give each other also the freedom in a way to discover it to a certain point or more, depending on what you agree. It's the important thing is that you talk about it.
Definitely. And in this case, I think what makes me wonder, or what makes me think it's so difficult to really be on a side, because you know, like in this situation, I get both point of views in the sense of it happened a long time ago and he shouldn't overreact to the point of going to the divorce. But I also agree that it was like a big kind of cheating from her side that may have permanently changed his image that he had of her. But that's when I ask myself, how, like, is it that bad? Like, after 20 years of having a good relationship, in those 20 years, the good experiences didn't overweigh the bad ones that happened to you? That's kind of the question I'm asking myself. That's why I can't say, is it really bad?
Honestly, I think the easy answer in a way here is yes, it is because of her reaction. If her reaction would have been, I'm really sorry I never told you. And you are right. I really understand that this hurts. And it was dumb. I didn't think about it anymore. I honestly just didn't think about it. And I thought it was okay. I see now that it's not okay for you. And I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do? You know, something like that.
That reaction.
Then I think he would have not reacted this harsh. But she's downplaying it so much and gaslighting and doubling down and denying it and just not owning up. That makes it terrible. That makes it like, who are you even? I don't even know who you are. And I mean, I'm sorry, but after being married for 20 years, I would assume that you would be able to own up your shit.
Your mistakes. Yeah. Put it gently.
And know that the feelings of your partner is important and valid. It doesn't matter if you think it's stupid or not a big deal, but your partner thinks it's a big deal, so it is a big deal for him, and that is valid.
That's true. That's true.
Even if you're yeah. Good. But let's
finish it up, wrap it up.
Yes, wrap it up and go to the next stories because we still have
but
some.
What was the question?
Yeah, but quickly to the comments, obviously. Okay. So, top comment is, she cheated and lied to you then, maintained contact with at least one of her fuck buddies, and introduced you to many of the guys that were banging her. That is not only dishonest, but cruel. I think you are 100% in the right. Who knows what else she'd done? You have no way of knowing. And that's the other thing. Discovering this after 20 years, well, what's going to come 20 more years down the line? Like, oh my goodness.
Although they would be 80 by the time he found out another thing. So I don't think they would care anymore. Yeah.
By the way, as an info, OP did wrote like a ton more edits that I'm not going to read anymore. Just you
don't
can
have
read
enough
it
time
if you want to have additional info. Maybe I'm going to post it on Insta or something. But yeah, I think we're ready to move on, right?
Let's move on.
But just to the question, breakup or makeup? I think it's a clear breakup, right?
Yeah. Not because of what happened, but because of how she reacted.
Yeah, that she didn't own up to it. I think owning up to it would have maybe
have solved the whole thing, probably.
Yeah, so break up. Oh, there's an update to that story. I forgot. We have an update. It's just, he writes so many edits.
To wrap it up, we already decided it's a breakup, but let's see. What does he say?
It's just, I'm going to quickly read through. I think it's a really long story, but I'm going to just read this part. Most of our discussion in therapy has been talking about why I think it's a big deal and she doesn't. She initially said that none of these guys were in a relationship with her and it was mostly one night stands or FWB. I don't know what that stands for. Since she didn't view them as romantic relationships, she didn't see the big deal. Her doing the same. After digging into the across 2 sessions and my wife talking to some friends, she now agrees that it was a breach of our trust relationship. This is the shared understanding that has helped us talk about the situation more honestly and helped us get from arguing to talking, which is why I'm optimistic about co-parenting. Now, here's why I'm 100% set on divorce. 2 things came up that made me want to leave the marriage. First, about 10 years ago, we went through a really rough patch and had a dead bedroom for about 2 years. Oh, okay.
A dead?
Yeah, I was confused too. That sounds so extreme, but I think it was just that they had no sex.
Okay.
But it was too like a dead bedroom. What? Dead bedroom. For a moment, when I read the word dead, I was like, a corpse, a person, a dog, like what? Oh my god. That bedroom for about 2 years. She had expressed that our sex life was becoming boring. So I tried to spice things up. Nothing crazy, just role plays and like Spencer gift level sex toys. Apparently she had been hung up some sexual experiences that happened in college that she's not comfortable talking about and wanted me to try them. But when I did, it made her feel awkward and guilty that I made her think of other men while she was with me. The fact that she's saying these experiences were meaningless, but they're still impacting our marriage, tells me they meant more than she says she wants to say. Second, she admitted that she has been flirting with coworkers on business trips since the pandemic ended. She said she has never slept with anybody, but it got as far as going on a date with one of her male coworkers.
Oh,
on a date.
Thank you for the update, OP. That really just confirms that the breakup should be made.
That confirms that your wife has zero respect for you. Zero respect for you as a person, as the person she loves. I mean, I don't know what's worse, having sex with someone or having an active date. I mean, the point of a date is getting to know each other and what?
Yeah.
So yeah, he wrote that's an absolute deal breaker for me, as it should.
And people will still today I can speak English. I'm so sorry to your listeners. Pero ya, voy a hablar inglés. What I think would be hilarious is if after the update, people would still be like, "Oh, dude, but that's so normal. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
20
it's
years
normal.
marriage? Please, don't you date?
Go dating with coworkers? That's
you need to
normal
be fresh by meeting other people. I mean,
yeah,
what? By the way, dude, it's also normal to have multiple people in the relationship, even if you don't want that.
Without saying nothing to each other.
It's like,
okay,
oh
so
my God.
Now can we wrap it up?
Yeah, it's just still a lot more text and edits. You can go read into it. I'm gonna skip it for now. But the comment was just one hell of a confession that she's still fucking emotionally cheating and went on a date during a business trip. What the fuck? Yeah. There's nothing more to say. It's just the heck is happening here. Like, it's the craziest cheating story up until now.